What's going on, everybody? Gentleman94 here. Welcome back to Sci-Fi Wednesdays. I'm so glad you guys are joining us here for episode number 3 on the Bandai 1/72nd scale A-Wing. Now, I wanted to go ahead and push forward here on the kit, trying to get a little bit more built. I'm hoping to get most of the body together, and we'll just go from there. So last episode, we worked on the cockpit, got all that painted up, got that weathered and detailed. We attached it to the actual body of the A-Wing, and I really have to say this is a nice little kit. It's super, super nice. So we're going to push forward today. We're going to get the rest of the accent parts on, get the nose on, get the sides on, and then see where we can go from there. I'm really impressed with the overall fit of Bandai. Their kit has been so far, it's almost fallen together. And the fact that it's all actual snap tight, and the fact that you really can't see any seams, it's beautiful. I honestly have to say this is probably one of the best Bandai kits I have built, and I built a lot of them. Yeah, mostly Gundams, but again, this is one of the nicest Bandai kits I've actually built over my many years of building models. We're fitting the nose cone right here, and so far it presses right on in there. We'll put a little bit extra weight here, just make sure it snaps into place. Yeah, this thing is starting to take shape, everybody. It's got that nice, really sleek, streamlined appearance. We're going to have to do some weathering, some painting, of course, but all that will be in a future episode. I can't wait to see this thing finished up. Now, let's go ahead and wrap this up and continue pushing forward and see what else we can do. With the canopy all nicely polished out, we dip it in future, and I'll let that dry for about 72 hours before I do any more work on this. Let's go ahead and move on to the engines. Now, the A-Wing has just 2 engines with 2 sets of vertical stabilizers, and they kind of cant inwards a little bit, so this should be pretty simple to build. There is a blank-off plate, and then there's a clear part that fits up over that, and then that goes into the back of the engine. So that's about it. The entire assembly shouldn't be more than just a few steps. So what I want to do is I'm going to paint the back plate like a NATO black, and then I'm going to overcoat the actual clear part with a clear yellow. I think that should be a decent color match. Besides, the A-Wing's engines are yellow, which is interesting. I'm not sure why that is, but they're yellow in color. So as you can see, these fit together nicely. There isn't really any sort of issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to move to NATO black. We're going to start painting. So I have these stuck down to some tape so they won't move around and fly all over my desk, and I'm just going to use my NATO black. I'm just going to airbrush the entire part itself. Now, I don't know how much of this you'll actually see, but this will give it a nice dark background. So when you put that clear part over top of that, it should make those details kind of pop out. Again, all around the sides, make sure everything is covered in NATO black. I don't want any sort of white showing, and this should be good enough. I'm going to use some clear yellow on the actual parts themselves, Hasegawa clear yellow. So let's go ahead and pull that out. Put these things together. All right, I've put down the clear parts on top of the backing. So I've got my clear yellow right here. So let's stick this down and grab a brush. I'm not going to airbrush this, I'm going to hand brush this. So pop off this lid And we'll mix it up a little bit just to make sure it's all nice and mixed. These do tend to settle a little bit too, so we'll mix it up. And we're going to grab a brush and we're just going to start brushing these things. So that is amazing. We have everything set. I'm going to go ahead and put that engine into the back of this whole tail assembly and make sure it's all nicely pressed in though. There we go. And check them out. This is how they look. They look pretty good in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the actual exterior of each of these engines. And they're just 2 parts per engine, and it has some hoses that comes out of one of the sides. And really that's all there is to it. Again, this Bandai kit is just such a nice fitting kit. I haven't run across any issues. Every once in a while you need to take a little bit off on one of the parts, but honestly, this is a beautiful, beautiful kit. So we're going to plug in the side burner cans right here. Make sure this fits nicely. And again, if you wanted to light this and throw a little LED in this, you could easily do that. There is plenty of room in these cans to go ahead and get those wired in. I will do that eventually, but I'm not really adept at that, so I'm going to wait. I just want to build this and see how it goes. That just fits right in there, just like that. Nice. So both engines are attached together by this one little section right here, and there's actually supposed to be 4 thrusters that sit up inside of that rear section. I haven't painted those, so this is just a mock-up real quick, but I wanted to show you guys what it looks like when the engine tail assembly is completed and we push that into the body. So as you can see, the A-wing actually just, oh man, this thing is nice looking. I've always loved the A-wing. It just looks like a freaking race car, doesn't it? Looks cool. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and call it here. Tune in next episode where I'm going to be finishing up the last of the assembly, and then we're going to start painting this amazing little fighter. So until then, keep on building, get some bench time in there, and we'll see you next week.